Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of Ewebstyle.
I am Charles Lewis, your Internet Marketing Specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of our podcast. This is podcast number 252, immediately following number 251.
Right
Not
before 253.
That's coming up next. There is a tip from our previous podcast, and that is this. Consider the type of content and how users will engage with the content when designing a new website.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of times, especially, with marketing and things like that changing, people go down that process of redesigning the website. Right. But you have to really consider your content, right? And the reason I say this is because we've been seeing a lot of templates coming, this kind of new thing as long scrolling, different elements pop on depending as you scroll down, right? I've seen the same template on probably 10 different sites within the last 2 weeks.
Right.
The problem is that while it's a cool WordPress theme, it's not really effective for most businesses. Like if your company isn't putting out all types of content that needs to go out in various ways, then that template may not work. Yeah. Maybe you're video heavy, content or image heavy. And so you need a site design that's going to be consistent with how you present your content so people can watch videos either, so they can find the content they're looking for easier. So stay away from the trends, right? If the trend is to go through this thing and that trend isn't necessarily consistent with your offering, then do something custom, do something different. So make sure your site is designed for your content and not just because of what people think is cool.
Absolutely. Remember, we are broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and we are your friendly neighborhood top position snatchers, where our mantra is,
don't be a douche.
Do not be a douche. If you can, tweet now. You've got some device. You're a nerd. We know it. Just tweet this.
Yeah, you should tweet this right here. Look, I'll show you my tweet. I don't know if y'all can see that right there.
Right there.
Okay, maybe not. Follow me, you'll see it at Chuck. But you should be tweeting hashtag SEO podcast. This is number 252. Be sure to tag us in it at Ewebstyle, at Best SEO Podcast. That way we can follow you back and do all of our social stuff.
Excellent. If this is the first time you're listening to our podcast, this section is called the potatoes. Mm-hmm. We will get into the meat real soon. If this is the second time you've listened to our podcast and you haven't done one of these three things, we're going to ask you to do that as soon as you can. First one has 3 steps. All you do is go into iTunes, create an account, write a review. We're hoping that review will be 5 stars because sometimes we think we deserve it. Next, you could go on to Facebook. And actually, if you write a review on iTunes, you can feel free to send us an email, podcast at
e-webstyle.com.
And we'll probably read your review on air. Next, you can go to Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Ewebstyle. And there, you can find out where to write a review. Also, that should be
a review, ask us a question. You can interact with it, engage with us on Facebook.
All of that stuff. Also, please make that 5 stars. Next, we've got a G Plus review. We've made it really easy to get to our G Plus page because sometimes it can be a pain with all the numbers.
Yeah, or with all of the changes G Plus is making.
All over the place. So all you have to do is go to
e-webstyle.com/Google Plus.
Or
/Google Plus.
Or
/G Plus.
Or
/G Plus.
All of those will take you to our G Plus local page.
Yes.
There we ask you to do 3 things.
Do 3 things. When you get there, man, first off, leave us that review, and hopefully it's 5 stars. And after you leave that review, then put us in a circle, give us a +1. We'll sure appreciate it.
That's all 3 of those. And finally, on Stitcher, so there's actually 4 things. Stitcher.com /SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. Some iteration of that will get you to our Stitcher page. And then just click review and write us a review there. We haven't seen a review there in quite some time. So
you know an even easier way to get there?
I don't.
I'm going to tell you an easy way to get there.
Oh, our website.
If you go to e-webstyle.com and click on the Stitcher icon in the sidebar, it will take you to that page.
Wow, amazing how that works. Literally, the second time you asked that question, the Stitcher logo popped in front of my face, and I was like, yeah, that's right there. Yeah. So that's e-webstyle.com. You'll find the Stitcher logo. By the way, since we're talking about ewebstyle.com, there's lots of ways to stalk us, haunt us, follow us, harass us. We love it when you give us questions and reviews. And those Those include Facebook.com/
Ewebstyle.
Twitter.com/
Ewebstyle.
YouTube.com/
Ewebstyle.
and finally Instagram.com/
Ewebstyle.
All of
check
those.
our Instagram out, man. We take some. And matter of fact, if you happen to tune in and watch this actual podcast live, then you know before we actually kick it off,
Yep.
you may get a chance to hear the podcast freestyle or see our Instagram photos
Yep.
being taken.
Yep.
And so check out the Instagram page, man. We have a lot of fun there.
Some cool stuff does actually happen right before the
Right.
podcast, and it is live. It's broadcast. It's not recorded.
Yeah.
It's broadcast. Well,
Then recorded,
unless
yeah.
one of you guys are recording it. Next in the list, if you are a PHP whiz or a WordPress genius and you like to work with world-class experts at what they do, internet marketing, then please submit an audio resume, dial 713-510-7846. Submit your audio resume there. And if we're going to get back to you, we will get back to you within 2 weeks.
Do the audio resume. I mean, like, I'm going to take this time to say do that. Well, because we've been getting resumes across email, and it's not the rules.
Yeah.
The rules on an audio resume, and it's that way for a reason. So
Yep.
we're not trying to be an a-hole or be a prick or anything like that. But rules are in place for a reason.
Yep.
And so, submit the audio resume.
Yeah, we're SEO. We know there are rules.
I know, right?
All right, so we do have a referral program. You send us an SEO client. They pay their bill. We pay you. Get your free website analysis on our website, e-webstyle.com. If you're in a hurry to get that, go ahead and give us a call. You can actually call us at 713-592-6724. And we have AlgoCat today, right?
Yeah, we do have some AlgoCat.
This is time for one of our favorite segments, mostly because of the special effects that intro that segment. This is the Algorithm Cataclysm. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I almost fell over.
Tremors right there, you know.
Crazy.
So got crazy AlgoCat today, and this is kind of a serious one too. So last week, on September 26th, a few days ago,
Right.
Panda rolled out 4.1.
Okay,
New
right.
Panda
We haven't
release.
heard Panda in a while.
Yeah,
Right?
new Panda release, and so this one is typical Panda update targeting thin and low quality content. And so the interesting thing about this particular release is it's a algorithm update and a refresh. What does that mean? That means that the good news is maybe you were penalized by Panda before. I'm not penalized. Maybe
Right.
you were what's that word?
Pooped on by Panda.
Maybe you were pooped on by the Panda before.
Right.
And if that's the case, hopefully you've made some adjustments, improved your content, because now you should see your ranking come back.
Right.
However, maybe you weren't pooped on before and you did have bad content and you just didn't get caught. You probably will get caught this time. And so hopefully you've improved your content. Hopefully you've made it better. And how do I mean make it better? Gave it some value, made it relevant, maybe added some supporting content like videos and images, made it longer, right? If you have a page of content that's only one paragraph long, it's probably not worth having its own page. It should be somewhere else. And so if you haven't improved your content and you weren't pooped on, then you probably will be soon. Check your content.
And there's nothing worse than being pooped on by a panda. Took us a while. Remember, we had to figure out what kind of noise a panda makes, and it turns out they do make noise. And I will not be repeating that noise. You can Google it. It took me a while. Actually, the first ones that were like, what kind of noise does a panda make? Didn't come up with anything, which is a little odd. And then one of our wonderful listeners sent us a YouTube video of a panda making noise. It was not a panda pooping. We just don't really need to see that. It was just a panda making noise. So, all right. So next, we've got a little bit of news. We've got the European Union has actually just approved Facebook, purchasing WhatsApp. I didn't even know that was under works. Apparently, the U.S. approved that a while ago, and now it just got through the European Union. So Facebook is going to own WhatsApp.
Man, that's what's up.
Do you use WhatsApp?
Nope.
No, it's not WhatsApp. It's WhatsApp.
I know. I don't use it. I've heard of it. I know people who do, but I haven't.
I know my wife uses it, and for one of for the multi-level marketing company that she's working, she has a group. So there's a group where they share messages, and they're positive messages, and show this presentation, all this stuff to keep everybody in the group fired up, which I don't think there's a natural way to do in Facebook.
Not
and
yet.
so that's now there will be. So that's pretty cool. Did you hear about this? Facebook was doing user experiments on happiness and sadness.
Yeah, they were checking mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I love that. Like, you start doing psychology stuff. I just love it, and almost don't care how they got the information, except they were actually manipulating people and causing some people to be sad and some people to be happy.
It's like I feel both ways about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm all for research.
Yeah.
Right. I'm all for research and data mining because that's how things evolve. That's how
you learn and grow. Yeah.
But man, like, for the sake of, at the end of the day, marketing to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Chuck's feeling bad right now, and I'll get an ad for Hennessy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that was the ultimate goal. The real goal wasn't just, did they post negatively after they saw negative posts?
No.
Which is kind of an obvious thing.
No, the real goal was, he said he was sad, he saw an ad for Hennessy, and then he got a 4-square check-in at the liquor store, and then, he went down the whole path.
So they're working.
And then he posted again happy.
Yeah.
And so, I don't need y'all.
And then we sold him shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
He's happy now. He doesn't buy shoes when he's sad. He buys Hennessy when he's sad, and then he buys shoes when he's happy. And we'll do the quote-unquote happy.
Yeah. So that part of it bothers me.
Yeah. And then I thought this was really interesting. So they were talking about the Apple Watch. I haven't read anything about the Apple Watch. I don't know anything.
Yeah, because it's like the year and a half away.
Still, they just announced it. This was just really interesting. Imagine you're watching a boxing match, right? Mm-hmm. And it vibrates on hits. So like,
be like, ooh,
beam,
he's getting the business.
And then it vibrates more on bigger hits or football hits or same kind of thing.
Oh, kind of like on a video game.
Yeah, an immersion, like to immerse yourself more into the experience.
Into the experience.
That's kind of cool, huh?
I could dig that. I mean, you check in and connect somehow and let you know whatever.
And then they've got one new staff member whose job it is to vibrate all watches when there's a big hit. Oh, that was a good one. Unless they make a camera algorithm, a video algorithm that covers that. All right, so now we actually do have a review, and it is 5 stars. And this is from Jalek Elek from Australia, and it says, "I'll give them 5 stars only if they say they love Justin Bieber on their next podcast. It is a good podcast too."
So technically, you just said it.
Yeah, you did give the 5 stars already, and I did say they love Justin Bieber. I don't know who they are, but there's a whole lot of them, and they love Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I don't know that I could say that I love Justin Bieber.
I don't.
Can't say I love him. I certainly appreciate him, like the story about him, going up to Usher and like auditioning in a parking lot or something.
No, I appreciate his hustle. I appreciate that he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
He makes great music.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's a nice entertainer. Like, I appreciate that. I even appreciate getting into trouble at the age he's in with all of that money.
That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, you should have a Ferrari and do hot rod runs in the local neighborhood.
Yep.
Maybe not
with your friends
in front of the park.
Yeah.
But watch out for the kids too, Justin.
Yeah.
But those are also the reasons why I can't say I love them.
Right.
How ironic is that?
Yeah.
But,
because be more mature. You teenager. So well, we said your phrase, punch in the face to you all the way down under. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for writing that 5-star review.
Got a couple other patiffs. Since we're punching people in the
punch
face.
In the face. Let's
this
go.
One goes to Terry Crosby.
See, imagine if they had their iWatch on.
Oh, bing. It would even give a sound effect like
yeah. Or you could do like tiff. That'd be awesome. Or you could go old school Batman. Pow!
Oh man!
Wham! Kablam!
Kablooey!
Yeah.
So at Terry Crosby, she says at Ewebstyle, thanks for providing my SEO refresher.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
It's great for that. Oh man, this punch in the face goes to SEO prescription.
I love that name.
Yeah, we hollered at them last time.
Yeah.
He says, thanks for the punch in the face. My prescription was filled.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I got a little news as well.
Okay.
This week, Google's 16th birthday was on the 27th.
16th birthday, wow.
Happy birthday, Google.
Yeah, wow.
You've done a lot in 16 years.
We should make one of those Google things for the, well, they probably did it for themselves.
They did. Yeah, it was all over the thing.
Candles and singing and...
This almost could have been AlgoCat.
Yeah.
So Yahoo Directory shutting down.
So, I mean,
so I gave him a shout out in a SEO rapper song like some years ago.
right.
Yahoo directory. It cost $300. Remember that?
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Or yeah. What was the second? What was the line after that? Oh, that was it.
It was that was about it.
Yeah, done.
But
it
yeah,
cost
so
$300. It's worth it.
It was worth it.
It used to be worth it.
Now it's shutting down. So
Wow. I don't know why they don't. That's got to make money. Why don't they sell it? Right? Like just sell it for $1 million or something. I don't know.
give it away. I mean, if you're not gonna sell it, let somebody else have it.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Yeah, we'll take.
We'll figure out how to manage
No,
$300 a month. I mean, a year per
per
person in the directory, per
Yeah.
1 million people in the directory.
And so, yeah, Yahoo directory shutting down. But, you know, it's not surprising because, you know, over the past, I'll say 12 months, you know, we submit to directories and all this part of our SEO process.
Yep.
And lately, we haven't been submitting to Yahoo.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you think
We
about
just
it.
haven't done that,
We haven't
you know?
needed to. It was kind of a, you know, hey, if we're having struggling with a client.
All hands on deck, let's do everything. But, yeah, we haven't had to, so. Interesting. Oh, and this last one. So remember the iCloud got hacked and all the celeb nude photos got leaked?
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
So like more than 10 of the women celebrities who were leaked, they all got the same attorney, and so he's sent a note to Google, and they actually going to court, block the nudes or pay $100 million.
Okay, so piggybacking off of what's going on in the European Union. Interesting.
And Google has been compliant to that. They've already removed over 10,000 photos. They have blocked a certain number of URLs already.
Right.
So they're, you know.
That's interesting because, I mean, you can still get torrents, right? You can still get torrents of movies, and you would think, I don't know, maybe because it's such a highly publicized case, they're just following through on it or whatever. I don't know. Interesting.
So that was my news and punches in the face. And so.
So is there some guy on staff whose job it is to find that nude?
Probably.
And then delete it.
And, you know, contact that webmaster through tools. Hey, about to de-index your site.
What do you do for a living? I find nudes.
I find celebrity nudes.
Celebrity nudes and then delete them.
How do I get about the
job?
celebrity nudes would bother? Well, I don't say bother me. It's not that big of a deal. But half of them are already naked everywhere.
Yeah, you see them every place. Yeah.
I mean, you know, so
We've seen that.
the only difference is this is a nude selfie.
Yeah.
And so I think that's
They're a little more, voyeuristic. Yeah. Instead of expositional.
Instead of a production.
Yeah.
You know, instead of hair and makeup. So anyway, that was my news.
Behind closed doors.
So let's get into the meat.
All right.
Let's get into the meat.
Meat of the podcast.
Man, I want to give a punch in the face to Mona. Mona, and excuse me for messing up your last name. Elisely?
We'll go with that.
Mona Elisely, she posted this article, 7 tips to avoid high bounce rates on landing pages.
Ooh, we talk about that all the time. This will be good.
Yeah, 7 tips to
This is
avoid
good.
high bounce rates on landing
All right,
pages.
before we get started, are they all good?
Well, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, the tips?
All of the tips, are they all good?
Some of them, you know, I agree with most of them.
Okay,
But
cool.
one of the things that we, you know, that's been kind of our standard here is that a lot of times, especially on a landing page, a high bounce rate could be a good thing.
No, that's true. Right.
And
yeah.
so, you know, her thing was to avoid high bounce rates, but sometimes you want a high bounce rate.
It'd be really interesting to write an article that's just like 7 tips to
On how to
increase
get-
your bounce rate and why it's good.
Yeah, I'll write that one.
Right.
I'll write
like
that
that.
article. We'll present on that next month sometime.
Yeah.
But and the reason why we do that, and what'll be in our article, some foreshadowing here, is because let's say you're in an industry where your product or your service doesn't really cost a lot. People don't have to do much research. They just need to contact
short
you.
sales cycle.
It's a short sales cycle. They call you, you come out, you schedule or whatever, and then you go do it. Like carpet cleaning or AC repair or a number of other services, you know, plumbing
Auto
maintenance.
windshield replacement.
Yeah, a lot of other services that don't require much research, you know.
Right.
And so those sites usually, when the site is designed right, have a high bounce rate.
Yep.
They normally have a high amount of conversions as well,
Right.
which leads to that high bounce rate. User goes to Google, they search for windshield replacement, your site comes up, they click your link, they see that you can do same-day windshield installation at $99. Fill this form out, and somebody fills that form out, and then they submit, and then they leave your site. That's a bounce.
So technically, Google, as long as you have them land on the thank you page, which we recommend that you do,
Yeah.
Google will not count that as a bounce. We kind of throw it in there, but the phone call, for sure.
The phone call
if
is
they pick up
definitely
the
a
phone
bounce.
call and then hang up, and they're like, all right, I'm all set.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I mean?
went to they actually engaged.
Yeah.
They did fill out a form. They did
Right.
submit. They did go to another page. Thank you, conversion page. So
Right.
technically not a bounce, but let's say they called. They clicked. They picked up the phone. They called you. You said, "I'll be out there at 5 p.m." They hung up and they left your site.
They went immediately back to Facebook.
Yeah. Then that's a bounce.
Yep.
And it could be a high bounce, but you just got an extremely highly qualified lead. You got the deal. You're
Yeah, I
going to
think
go-
you were not complaining about that bounce.
Exactly. So she said 7 tips on how to avoid high bounce rates. So I'm gonna put an asterisk by that and say if they're not converting.
Yeah, that's good.
So before we get into the 7 tips, she says a couple things you need to do. Employ basic testing, and we talk about this all the time, especially for landing pages. Testing is what works. I put on her test your sales process with your website actions, kind of what we're just talking about. So if your sales process has a higher closing ratio, if you get people on the phone, then on your landing page, you should test out different ways to get people to call. Call for a free consultation, or get on the phone with us now and this or that, or free phone interviews, or whatever your action is. Keep it consistent with your sales process. You do that by testing. Another tip she says look at the click pattern. And I like this. I was actually doing this for one of our clients earlier this week. In analytics, you can kind of look at the in-page reports and figure out where people are clicking
Right.
at. More importantly, she says, with this type of information, you can move compelling information to more prominent places. What does that mean? If you see people are on a certain page and they're clicking in certain areas all of the time, but maybe you have some higher quality, more prominent information that's
Right.
just not getting visited, maybe you create a graphic or you put a link or somewhere in the area where most of the clicks are happening.
So maybe all the clicks are happening there, and your phone number is somewhere else, and you want calls. Get your
Move
phone
your
number
phone
in that
over there.
area. Yeah.
Exactly. Put a submit button over there. Put an add to cart button over there. Put a subscribe to my news. Whatever your action is, cater to how people are using your site.
Right.
And so, and then what I added to that was find the drop off. Right. A lot of those same reports will tell you what pages on your site that people are leaving.
Right.
So they come and they hit home, they hit services, they hit products, and then they bounce. Or they home and then FAQs and then they bounce.
Right.
Right. And if you see enough people bouncing at the same page and they're not converting,
Figure out why.
figure out
Spend some
why.
time looking at
and
that
those
page.
reports help you figure that out. Maybe you go look at that page. Exactly. So tip number 1,
Maybe your FAQ is all questions and no answers, or whatever.
or whatever.
Or it's or they're hidden divs, and in certain browsers, because you haven't checked, they can't open those hidden divs or something like that.
Exactly. And you just don't know if you don't test.
Yep.
Tip number 1, she says, reiterate your main drivers. And she goes on to say there's nothing worse than clicking on a specific offer, let's say 20% for Cyber Monday, and seeing only a generic site with no mention of the ad.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about that all the time.
That's
Yeah, I wrote down continuity is important.
Yes.
It's very important. Look, when people need to see the same thing that they search for throughout the process,
start to finish.
from start
Yeah.
to finish, from what they searched to the ad they see, when they click on that ad, the landing page they land on should represent what the ad was saying. There's your continuity. That's where I'll need this. Okay, here it is. Okay, yes, they offer it. Yeah, I'll convert and hopefully lead to a high bounce.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, exactly.
So yeah, reiterate your main drivers. I totally agree with that. Whatever your driver is, that's the key to remember. Whatever it is you put in your ad that forced them to click, that made them click, that should be reiterated on your site. Extremely prominent, extremely visible.
As an example, for one of our clients, they did auto windshields. They also do stereo installations. They do window tinting. And so if they had an ad campaign that was focused on, at your office windshield replacement, and the ad matched, and somebody typed that, the ad matched it, and they got to the website, and you had equal balance between
All four of the
radio and
services.
all the services, and maybe even the windshield was kind of somewhat hidden, that's a problem.
Well, that's why on that particular client we didn't land them on the homepage.
Exactly.
We
Yep.
landed them on the windshield replacement page because that's what the search was for.
The others were to a lesser degree. In fact, we tend not to want to try, this is why we like to have a thank you page thank you page is a better place in a process and a sales process that you've put together to talk about your other stuff.
Yeah, to
don't distract them.
Yeah, get the money.
Yeah.
Get them to what they're looking for as fast as they can, and then after you've gotten the money, gotten the conversion, gotten the lead, then you can upsell them, you can cross-sell them, you can do, we did a podcast probably 10 or 15 podcasts ago about the value and the importance of that thank you page.
Yep.
Like, it's a lot you can do there. So, reiterate your main drivers. Number 2, she says, make a quantifiable claim to downplay risk. Make a quantifiable claim to downplay risk. She goes on to say, it can help to know that others have had measurable results by doing the exact same thing that you're asking people to do. So what does that mean? So, for example,
sounds like a testimonial.
Well, exactly.
Or a guarantee.
A guarantee, kind of. So let's say you're Match.com.
Right.
Right. When you go there, 2 out of 3 people find everlasting love. That's like, okay, so 66%.
That means I'm signing up.
Yeah, I have a higher likelihood of finding someone.
Yeah.
And so find whatever quantifiable claim for your business that you can actually justify and honor, right? Find that, expose it, put it out there, make it prominent so people can see it. Maybe you're in pest control and you can guarantee that you will see a reduction in bugs after the first treating. Put that on there.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe, or I think about Mattress Max. He does it all the time. Order today, deliver today, or something like that. And he
buy
can
it today, deliver tonight.
Right, exactly. And
So
that's
just
just quantifiable claim.
So those listeners, Mattress Mac is a huge furniture salesperson in the city of Houston. He's only in the city of Houston as far as I know. I think he recently just opened a second location and sells about $60 million is my guess in furniture. I know it was like $43 million a while back. So he's probably about $60 million of furniture, and he's just an advertising hound.
Yeah, he's the king of ads out here.
He spends 15% of gross revenue on advertising.
Right? Yeah, goes back into marketing. So find your quantifiable claim and promote it. Number 3, she says incorporate benefits clearly and proudly. Benefits speak specifically to a consumer's need and can remind the visitor of why they were interested in the first place.
Right.
And I totally agree. A lot of times people get caught up in their sales cycle and in other things that they kind of lose the benefits. So user was searching for whatever because of their emotion. They were feared, they were scared, or whatever it was. They clicked, they landed on your site, and then you didn't speak to that emotion. You just begin talking about your product and how awesome it is and why it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Not the problems it solves.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what I added to this was old school sales training, FAB. Feature, advantage, and the benefits.
Right.
You have to sell these things. Talk about the features, the advantages, and not just the advantages of the product, but the advantages of why you should use it.
Yep.
Right. Why you should use this service. Why you should use this product. And then the benefits. What can I gain from using this product?
With them. What's
more
in it for
time,
me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can get more time with my family. I can save money.
Security.
Exactly. Whatever it is. And so incorporate those things and make them prominent. Again, we're talking about landing page mistakes. So these are things you want on your landing page because people need to see them when they first land. Tip number 4, long or short headlines, find the best headline. Headlines are
An art.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
An art. Headlines are so important. Those are what people click on, right? People read the headlines, and to determine that headline has to put them in the mindset that I will click or I will keep scrolling, right? Or maybe they're on the phone. I will tap or I will keep thumbing, right? You know, headlines are that important. So you have to figure out what headline is going to work for you. Is it short or is it long? Now here's what I'm adding to this. Use AdWords if you have the budget, because AdWords and pay-per-click will allow you to effectively test
A headline.
headlines.
Yep.
Which ones work, which ones don't, which ones get conversions, which one leads to high bounces, which one leads to hot leads, which one leads to nothing at all, right?
Yep.
Create some campaigns, throw some money at it, strategically create your headlines, your ads, and then whichever ones tend to convert, rinse and repeat, bring those in, optimize to them, redo your ads using the headlines that work.
Yep.
So test your headlines.
I think a stat we saw or mentioned a while back was that only 20% of the people will read your article. What that means is 80% more people, so the 100% in the case of a impression, will read your headline. 80% of those won't get to the body. So spend that much more time on the
Crafting
headline.
that headline is that important. Number 5, highlight leads, not sales for long cycle items. I like this one because if you're in one of those situations, or this opposite from the example we gave earlier,
Right.
maybe you have a long sales process. Maybe it requires, a call that leads to a meeting, that leads to a proposal, that leads to a conference, that leads to a dinner party where you finally close the deal,
Right.
and it's a 90-day process and it's a, $50,000 product. Then don't look for the quick close, right? Call now doesn't help you.
Right.
You need to figure out ways to break your sales cycle down. And so what I wrote was give people steps.
Yeah.
People love steps, especially if you can simplify the steps. Step 1, do this, and then wait to hear from us, or then we'll do that. And so that way, the massiveness of the sales process isn't intimidating.
Overwhelming.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I can leave you my name and my email address, and then you start your process from there. So yeah, I like that. Highlight leads, not sales. Basically saying you don't have to go for the full kill.
Right.
You can just, damage them a little bit.
Yep.
And then break them down.
Reel them
further.
in slowly.
Exactly. And so number 6, she says incorporate urgency. Think about ads like holiday ads. This ends December 10th, or get them in stock while supplies last. Those sorts of things. What I'm adding to this, which is also the word of the week this week, FOMO.
FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
Oh, yeah.
FOMO. Incorporate that, especially if you have a product that's indeed limited, like Jordans.
Right.
It's a reason why every new pair of Jordans that drop is a line of people at every shoe store a day ahead of time. Because they are limited.
Yep.
You will miss out if you're not there, if you don't get a ticket, if you don't act fast. If they drop Saturday morning and you don't have them by noon, you won't have them.
Wow.
you just won't.
Genius.
It's genius. That's the quickest way to sell, 100,000 shoes in 4 hours.
Yeah. Start working on the next
Only
design.
create 100,000.
Right.
That's how you do that. And so fear, capitalize on the urgency. That was her number 6. And last one, number 7, appropriate tone in the copy. And we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Speaking a consistent voice with your users. She says, depending on what you're selling, try a different tone. Particularly effective in headlines. And I agree. I mean, use the right voice, right? You're selling to kids. It's okay to be playful and whatnot. If you're targeting B2B, Fortune 500 companies, then you should be speaking
A little more buttoned up.
very buttoned up, very toned and polished, and direct. So understand your audience, understand the tone that your website conveys when you speak to these people. So that was it, man. Punch in the face to Mona Elisa Lee for the article 7 tips to avoid high bounce rates on landing pages. Pretty good article. Punch in the face to you.
Excellent. All right, so we got
Some what news?
right.
Talked about our word of the week. That was
Yep.
FOMO, right?
Right.
Fear of missing out. And so you hear that a lot, but that's a great emotion to capitalize on, especially if you're selling a product. Not so much for services per se, because services everybody can do it really, but for products, especially exclusive products, capitalize on that.
Yep.
Had some what news?
What?
Yeah, so this is what goes to Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So Jimmy Kimmel,
He's in a Success magazine. I think it's either. I think it's at the House. So it's an interesting article.
so Verizon, it wasn't Verizon, it's the internet security, McAfee.
McAfee.
So they released a report that said that Jimmy Kimmel is the most dangerous searched celebrity.
Really? Oh, because there's more viruses associated.
Yes, both of
Really?
his searches lead to viruses and Trojans.
Wow, that's crazy.
That sucks.
Yeah, you're associated with viruses and Trojans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds like you're associated with unhealthy
What does your
sex.
PR? What does your PR person do with that? It's like,
He capitalized on it.
our bad.
No, he capitalized on it.
Oh, did he?
He was like, man, I think I like being the bad guy.
What do I have to do to be worse?
Exactly.
That's pretty awesome.
And so my other what news is a new search engine
Okay.
developed by some former Google employees. It's called Bootygo, Boodigo.
Bootygo. All right.
Now, what do you think this search focuses on?
Booty.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a new search focusing on safe and private searches for adult entertainment.
Safe and safe and private searches. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
the problem is, you know, with
my
Google,
first thought of safe and adult, there's like, well, the kids, right? Safe, so no one knows that I'm searching.
that I'm
for
searching,
you.
exactly. I mean, and they're actually addressing an interesting need. So, you know, with Bing and Google and Yahoo and sites like that, looking to really not show porn and not show this and that.
Right.
If you're into porn, how
Right.
do you find this stuff?
Yeah.
If Google's purposely filtering it out.
Yep.
So they created a search engine that will only have that kind of content.
Right.
So you can find exactly what you're looking for without them knowing, hey, I guess the type of chicks you like maybe or whatever.
Whatever freaky stuff you're into. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I thought that was interesting. Like, what? Really?
Booty go. So remember the old one, Booble?
I do remember
There
that.
was one Booble. Yeah. So.
Yeah, now I thought the name was suspect because when you say it fast, like Booty Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Booty go. That's what you say in the morning. All right. Was there anything else?
Nope, not after that. It's time to Booty Go.
Finishes it off. These booties are going. We have filmed this live at 5999 West 34th Street, Suite 106 in Houston, 77092. Thank you guys for tuning in to the most popular internet marketing podcast on iTunes.
Yes.
That is because of all you all. This doesn't happen without all you all. Thank you.
All 8,000 of y'all.
If you want, send us an email, podcast@
e-webstyle.com.
Until the next podcast, my name's Chris Burris.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.